So let us study how every individual personality and political party represented a political ideology and how they underwent a shift. So based upon our understanding, we will say that Motilal Nehru, Tej Bahadur Sapru, or even C. Rajgopalachari, or Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Now these were all the liberals belonging to the liberal school of thought. And then when we move more towards conservative, we can say that Madan Mohan Malviya, or conservatives such as Rashid Ahmad Gangohi, was the founder of Deobandi school, or conservatives such as Agha Khan, right? Even Bal Gangadhar Tilak would be a conservative. And fascist in themselves would be the writings of M.S. Golwalkar, right? Or Qasim Rizvi, right? The Qasim Rizvi is associated with the ideology of the Hyderabad Ittihadul Muslimin. Or we can also say that the fascists could be in the form of Ghulam Abbas, who founded the Muslim Conference in Jammu and Kashmir. And moving towards the socialist side, we would be having Jawaharlal Nehru, B.R. Ambedkar, or you can have socialists such as even Sheikh Abdullah. These are socialists. And we move towards communists, we would be having M.N. Roy, Shaukat Usmani, or Muzaffar Ahmad, Shripad Amrit Dange. So this is how we tend to classify every individual's thoughts. Some of the individuals, they might shift their thought. For example, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he started as a liberal. In the initial years, he was a liberal, but gradually he moved towards conservatives. Sayyid Ahmad Khan, he was initially a liberal, but later he started moving towards conservatism. So this is how the ideologies and ideas, they are classified. When we talk about even political parties. So political parties such as Communist Party of India, Congress, which would be centrist, and we will see Hindu Mahasabha, that would be the rightist. We will be having Muslim League, which will initially, Muslim League was established as a conservative political party on 31st of December 1906. And then it will move towards a liberal mindset during the non-cooperation movement, but immediately after non-cooperation movement, it will move towards the fascist form, and by 1940s, Muslim League would be characterized by fascist ideology. It would be extreme rightist in its narrative. So after 1920s, especially after 1930s, if you look at the Lahore Resolution and the Pakistan Day, Subsequently, Muslim League was identified as a fascist political organization. There were other fascist political organizations also. For example, Qasim Razvi, when he headed Ittihadul Muslimin, or Ghulam Abbas of Kashmir when he was heading the Muslim Conference. Congress will keep moving between this realm of political spectrum. For example, the early phase of the Congress from 1885 till 1892, Indian Councils Act, we had the liberals dominating the ideology of the Congress. And after 1892, when there was disappointment from the Indian Councils Act 1892, we saw gradually extremists, it started gaining foothold within the Congress. We have new lamps for old. We have new lamps for old by Aurobindo. We have Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandrapal, and all these, they expressed extremist ideas. And this ideological difference between the liberals and the extremists, it will lead to a split, following which again the liberals, they will have a stronghold over the Congress. There would be a Lucknow Pact where this ideological difference would be cemented. And after this, we will see Gandhi and his leadership, which would be ensuring that Congress remains more of a centrist political ideology based upon consensus building. But after 1920s, especially after the Nehru report, when Jawaharlal Nehru shall become the Congress president, we will see Congress more and more move towards the socialist realm. And the Communist Party of India was already extreme leftist in its narrative. So whenever we are looking at the modern Indian history, we will always see that ideologies of a political party, it was always swinging from right to left or left to right based upon the prevailing circumstances. Even after independence, if you look at, we had Congress dominated by certain members of the right and certain members of the left. Jawaharlal Nehru was more socialist. Dr. Rajendra Prasad tended to be bit conservative. And we will see amongst the liberals, we will see C. Rajgopalachari forming Swatantra Party, J.B. Kripalani forming Swatantra Party. And then extreme fascists, there would be emergence of, first there would be Hindu Mahasabha, later it will become the Janasangh. Among the left, we would be having the Communist Party. Socialist, it will emerge in the form of Praja Socialist Party by Ram Manohar Lohia. So this is how the ideological dimensions played a very important role in shaping up Indian political ideological scenario, or in narrating the idea of India. Now, one very important question you might ask is, how do we understand Gandhi and his idea of consensus building? Now, when we talk about the Gandhian thought, now over here we need to have a good understanding of all political ideologies. Now, socialists, they disagreed with the liberals on the basis of class conflict. So for the socialists, there was always a class conflict between the socialists as well as the liberals, the haves and have-nots. With respect to communists, communists will say state is an instrument of bourgeoisie. So they would be anti-state. Communists, they would be against state. So we can say that communists at times, they would be anarchists also. Anarchist is an ideology against state. And when we talk about the liberals, we would be having conservatives. And these conservatives would be emphasizing more upon tradition. And then we would also be having the fascists who would glorify nation, who would call for sacrifice for the nation. Now, what Gandhi and his ideology claimed, that rather than class conflict, it emphasized upon class cooperation. So Gandhi aimed at promoting class cooperation so as to resolve the difference between the socialists and liberals. As an alternative to socialist idea of class conflict, Gandhi promoted Sarvodaya, that is compassion for all. In order to accommodate tradition, he emphasized the concept of Ram Rajya. And in order to emphasize upon the socialist narrative of state or idea of a true freedom that socialists claim, he glorified the concept of Swaraj. He claimed that Swaraj was a emancipation from man's suffering. And when we talk about the idea of nation, Gandhi, he elaborated the idea of nation. He emphasized upon India's civilizational heritage as well as its tradition. So when we are talking about Gandhian concept of Sarvodaya, Gandhian concept of Ram Rajya, Gandhian concept of class cooperation, his concept of Swarajya, it is not some form of selection of a political ideology, but it aimed at somehow including elements of all political ideology, and which he termed as consensus building. Consensus building amongst whom? Consensus building amongst all the political ideology.